Good morning, Primerica, and welcome to CRM Tuesday, Take Action Tuesday, RMC, Rep Marketing Center, whatever the heck you want to call this thing. Dreams come true, baby. You know, this is the place where things happen. And we've got an all-star lineup today. I'm super excited about it. Max Cousineau from up in Canada is going to be our featured speaker today. I always love listening to his tidbits and things that he teaches, when he does the featured speaker thing. We got John Moats from home office that's supposed to be on to do our CRM updates that were just released and how to use those. And then for our panel, the great Jan Townsend and Charles Calloway. So I'm excited about that. So we got a great show for you today. And before I turn this over, Max, to you, I'm going to share my screen real quick because I have a real concern that I want to address. And that is the ability for most people to recruit people. Now, I don't mean being able to get somebody interested in the business. I'm talking about the $99 and the $25 and being able to sell that the right way, talk about that the right way. And I'm concerned about that because most people are like most people and they don't take the time, to really bring up things that people are thinking about. For example, the $99 application fee, that is so easy, it costs on the average, $400-500, in the States to get licensed, and you put in all the exam preps and licensing fees and all that stuff. That's easy, especially when that goes on sale for $49, right? Which ends month end January. But it's that $25 a month thing that I just don't feel comfortable that people feel comfortable explaining. So example, if I was going to recruit Jan, and I talk about Jan, it's $99, it's one-time application fee. We pay all your licensing fees. And then there's a $25 a month subscription fee. And Jan goes, oh, $25 a month. That's all I need to do, man, is tell my husband that I just joined the club for $25 a month, man. And we don't really understand the value of that. So I want to put up another slide before I turn this over. This is probably one of the most important things that I learned decades ago, which is this: price is an issue in the absence of value. You see, what I mean by that is, there's cars out there that they don't apologize for the price, man. I just bought a Land Rover and they look you right in the eye and go, yeah, it starts at $65,000. What? That's twice as much as the house that I bought, man, back 40 years ago. They don't apologize. Because why? Because there's value behind it. So price is an issue in the absence of value. What do I mean by that? So let's look at Advantage Primerica. $25 a month, $28 a month in Canada. I'm not going to read all the bullet points, but man, there's a lot that comes along with that $25 or $28 a month subscription fee. That buys you a lot of value. That buys you a lot of stuff. And if you think for 1 minute, if you think for 1 second that you can survive in business today without having a client relationship manager software thing going on, you're mistaken. If you want to build any kind of business at all, you've got to consider what it's going to be like to make sure that you're in constant contact with your clients, because if you don't take care of them, someone else will. So I did a Google search, and I want you to think about this. And let me back up for a second. So Jan, here, dumb question time, and you can unmute yourself if you want. So if you went and built yourself a base shop of 30 people, okay, how much would it cost Jan Townsend for her POL subscription for her and those 30 people? Not a trick
Well,
question. 25.
yeah. Okay, Jack, I was in business before Primerica. It was actually a technology business, and we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the technology. and the systems in place just to run our business.
Yeah, and that was your responsibility. But
Yeah.
if you're Primerica and you have 25 people in your base shop that are part of Primerica Online, that subscription, it still only costs you $25 a month. It doesn't cost you $25 a month plus the $30 for $25 for each one of the 30 people on your team. You don't pick up the tab for that. Okay, that's not the way it goes on planet Earth, boys and girls. So what I did was I went ahead and looked up one of the best CRM software companies out there is a company called Salesforce. And Salesforce costs $330 a month per user. So if you had 25 licensed people on your team and you wanted them to be part of your CRM software, that will cost you $8,200 a month to have those 25 people on your team to be part of that software. So if you went to go build 100 licensed people base shop organization, it will cost you $33,000 a month to have everybody be part of that system. And that's what no customization. That's what no sales tools. That's just to be able to send out rep marketing campaigns and things of that nature. That has nothing to do with the F&A software or quick quote software or calculators or Morningstar or any of the stuff that we get along with that. So it just I just wanted to address that concern that I had that's real important that people have a better understanding that price is an issue in the absence of value. And I think that in every phase of our business, we've got to be able to have a good command of explaining to people the value behind what we're asking them to do and the sacrifices we're asking them to make. Does that make sense a little bit? Okay, so everybody just kind of shake your head for me and do that. With that said, for the great country of Canada, put your hands together, the great Maxim Cousineau.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you very much, Jack. Like, what a great intro. I'm so glad to be here with you guys today. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the US. I know there's a lot of things happening right now with the fires, the hurricanes, the drought, the everything, the snow. I think you guys got snow in Florida or Atlanta. So I guess we sent you our weather. Don't worry, it's gonna pass. You'll be fine. we we got snow here. It's like -20, so don't worry. Today I'm gonna talk to you about I always want to bring value. Okay, I'm always nervous to do this because I'm French, so speaking English is my second language, and I want to do a good job and make sure that this meeting we're not wasting your time. We're giving you so much value that you feel you had like 3 hours of meeting in a jam pack in like 45 minutes. So I want to touch today on like my daily routine, how I use CRM. And before I get into that, I want to talk to you about what's the why. Why should we use CRM and try to improve our processes? There's a reason for that. So what we want to do is actually elevate our business using CRM and creating new opportunities. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Um, Let me see if that works. Someone has to let me be able to share. Who's on that? I'm going to share the, let me know when that's possible.
You got it.
I got it. I got it. Da, da, da. All right. So we're going to be starting here.
No singing, Max.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm happy, dude. So
No.
I don't sing well, but it's gonna be like that. All right, guys. So that and the reason why I did it through a little PowerPoint because I want you guys to be able to use it after. So I'm gonna be posted it on our chat in on the app. I forgot which one is it, but I'm gonna be posting that, so you'll have access to that if you want to take some notes. If you want to train your team, review it. There's good pointers on that you're gonna be able to use. So let's get right into it. Using CRM to optimize daily client service efficiency, right? So what do you want to start? In the morning, you want to get up after your coffee, blah, blah, blah. You want to start with the CRM dashboard. That's how I do it. I'm going to show you how I do it. So I start with the dashboard. I review my daily task. And when I say daily task, I've got a lot of uh, past tasks that I need to do. The reason why is I have got some follow-ups in the future that's or book in the future. They're going to appear that, but the way I function, every time I do something, I create a task for the next step. And I create like for today or tomorrow. So obviously I seem to have a lot of undo or do tasks, but that's my like daily task I need to do, right? So that's how I do it. And you want to verify your client meetings. That's very important. If you're using a scheduling app and you offer the possibility for a client to kind of book themselves in your agenda, very important to double check if someone booked, during the evening, if you gave that, 24 window, because sometimes you think you got time or you're free and you're not. You got to Zoom and a client booked that. You need to be prepared. You need to read those notes. Make sure you're prepared for that appointment, and follow-ups also. You want to prioritize activity on deadlines, also client needs, right? Some things are urgent, some things needs to be done, right? You're going to prioritize that. You don't want it to wait till it's super urgent, right? So the deadlines and the client needs, um, they don't need the same thing at the same time. And you want to focus on high value clients and urgent issue. Here's the point with the high value client. I'm going to touch that in a few seconds with the 80-20 rule. Right? Track and update client interaction. Very important. I don't know who's great at taking notes here. Raise your hand. Oh, thank God, Jack, you rose your hand. I had so many different system for note taking, right? I joined in 1998, so obviously we got paper notes in the file. I would staple just a paper in my file and write notes, right? It was okay. I was transporting that file to the client and would take notes there, right? Very simple notes, written notes. And then we got CRM or virtual base shop. So I uploaded all my notes there. So with time, I was starting to use CRM more and more. But now today, it's very like for me, it's my hub. That's where I go to create my work around that. And you want to create tasks on the next step to take the completion of the transaction. Any other step, I don't know for you, but at 47, my brain starts forgetting things, and sometimes we juggle so many things at the same time in one day. You got different type of clients calling you recruits. If you had kids, there's so many things in your life happening. If you forget something, that's your value going down to the eye of the client. They should not be doing what's happening with this. They should not be doing their own follow-ups on you. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but you should be on top of your game. So having a task on every next step to completion. What's my next step? It's your reminder, and it's quick. It's very quick to create, and then you just have a endless to-do list, and you could delegate with that. If you have a office manager or someone that was working for you, a lot of things could be delegated. So, and before you talk to a client, please review your notes. Don't forget anything. And it's so important to review your note. Let's say you did talk to a client 3 months ago and they were going through something tough in their life or whatever. I always take a note of how they feel, what's happening in their lives, right? So when I read that, so I could ask her, so how's your daughter doing? Oh my God, no, she's good. She got out of the hospital or whatever. That shows how much you care, and I do care actually. I'm interested to know. So that's the little thing. That's not financial, but using notes as a reminder to build that relationship. You actually have many type of different relationships, right? I'm gonna make a parallel later with a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship, how you should view that in your mind, how to make that work. So using CRM to optimize daily client. So number 3, you want to leverage CRM reminders and automation. Automation. That's a nice word. So set up reminders for follow-ups. Now, follow-ups is now task. They made a change where follow-up, the follow-up tab is going to disappear eventually. They're going to roll that out. It's going to be task. That's great because the difference between a follow-up and a task was just basically the name. Now in task, you'll have the option to say my task is actually a follow-up. All right. So use task now for your follow-ups, and eventually you're only going to see the task button right there. Now, here's the thing. Every client should have a scheduled follow-up in the future. All right. Listen to this. If not, they're not on your radar anymore. You might lose him or her to the competition. And that's my girlfriend example. If you don't touch base, give attention, connect with your girlfriend, how long is she going to be your girlfriend? Someone else is going to pick her up, right? Give her more attention, and she's going to feel better and say, well, he cares more about me, and she's going to leave your ass, right? So clients could do that. And they may have right now other relationship with other people that they're managing their money with the bank. So who's going to be the best? You want to have to create that for it to become that's exclusive relationship, right? So you got to pay attention. You got to give them attention. Now I know you don't have time to be on the phone and just talk and talk, like you don't have time. That's why using CRM, the campaigns, everything that's offered in the system to do a lot of those contacts, be on top of things. It doesn't take long. Did you know that if you send in the morning a little text to your girlfriend, hey, good morning, blah blah blah, was thinking of you, just that text makes everything. It takes like 30 seconds. Well, for your clients it's the same thing, right? Not that you want to say good morning to all our clients, but when you're in the process of helping through like you like right now I delivered two debt benefits, right? We're in the process of investing that. Obviously when I gave the check, the bank is going to freeze that money for 10 days. Well, guess what? In that 10 days I better be talking with that client. What's the bank is going to try to do with that 300,000 in their bank account? All right, meet with that client very quickly to invest that money. You understand? So you're always a danger to lose your clients and lose that asset. So you want to be there. So I'm in constant contact, a little text and Zoom meeting. So I broke up my during that 10-day what we're going to do with that investment. We started with creating plan and then booked another appointment 3 days after. And she just lost her husband. Guess what? She needs that extra attention. You know, she needs someone to be there for her step by step to accompany her. All right, does that make sense? So use and verify campaigns with your client that your clients are actually receiving. Whenever you do an appointment, just go in campaigns. Just go look the history. What are they receiving? Did they open it? Did it bounce? Is email still okay? Did he opt out? Some clients actually, they do receive it in their junk mail. So you think you're being in contact, you think those campaigns are being read or seen. Some are not. How would you know? Well, let's say you send a special campaign. You may want to follow up with a text in the next few days. Hey, John, this is Max. Hope everything's good. Did you receive the email I sent you? Just check it out. What email? Oh, maybe check in your junk mail, right? You want to make sure to receive it, right? Because that's going to be a value added. That's you being in contact regularly, so they feel that you're there, you're present, you're thinking of them. That's very important. So you should aim for 7 to 12 different contacts per year. You can't call them 12 times a year. They don't want to hear you. They don't want your phone call 12 times a year. They want to maybe once or twice, but campaigns is going to be part of that, right? They could receive a campaign every 6 weeks or something, every month. Call, text. I'm a big texter. More a texter than a caller, right? Because that leaves a trail for me, right? So I text. It's super quick. I don't need to feel that I'm maybe bothering them because I text during the day. I know they're working. If I text during the evening, they have kids like me, and meetings. So if you do a mix of everything, guess what? Are you gonna have a great relationship? You're gonna have an awesome relationship. But guess what? If you're not using CRM, you can't do 7 to 12 different contacts per year. All right. So you're not building that exclusive relationship with that client. They're probably seeing someone else also. All right. And also, you want to analyze clients' data to anticipate needs and future opportunities. Look at their history. Look at their preference. Look at where they're live. Did I talk to them about that TFSA, or now we have another one too in Canada. It's called Celi app in French. It's to buy a house. Like all my younger, like everybody in my clientele that doesn't own a house, a home, has the opportunity to invest tax free and have a tax return um, on that, but they probably don't know about it. I know the banks are making a lot of ads on that, and may probably trying to solicitate their clients to get them invested in that. But that's my job to let them know that exists. So look, do they have a insurance? I've got some clients that for some reason I inherited. How come they don't have any life insurance? I better have a note telling me why they don't have it, because I that's an opportunity for me to help them out. Okay. So monitor financial goals and provide proactive recommendation. Don't wait for your clients to call you to say, I would need this. Can you help me out? Right? Now, I know I'm making a lot of parallel with girlfriends, but women out there, do you prefer when your man lets you know, be ready at 7, we're going out? Or him asking you, what do you want to eat? Like, what's for dinner? Like, what do you think we should do? You like when they take control, right? And they suggest something important. So do the same thing with your clients. Be proactive. Say, hey, John, I've been looking at your file. We need to meet. I've got an idea. I've been looking at something. I think we need to meet, and something to improve. Let me share those ideas. You book an appointment, then you share. Okay. And I segment my clients I to like I have like a top tier, right? And the goal with the top tier, you got to understand that 80% of your income from the asset under management comes from 20%, about 20% of your clients. Okay. Same thing, the rule of 80-20. Same thing with your people under management, your recruits, your team. 20% of your team produces 80% of your production. 20% of your personal activity, like what you do, the actual actions, produces 80% of your income. You need to identify what they are, who they are, and spend 80% of your time with those people. That's how you're going to grow. It won't be 100% everywhere, right? Once you accept that, you're able to, the mountain's not that big. You don't have, you may have 1,000 clients, but guess what? 200 of them create 80% of your income. You got to cater to them 80% of the time. You got to nurture that relationships. Must be exclusive and nurture with those, and try to bring the other up in that 20%. Try to optimize that. Don't waste your time necessarily with people that it's waste of time, right? Care for people, love them, but don't waste time with people that's not worth it necessarily, right? Work with people that want to. Okay, under promise and over deliver. Here's the thing, right? Always set realistic expectation, then exceed them. Here's my point with that. I always give myself a longer buffer on time than I know I need. So let's say I tell a client, I'll get you back on this. I always I always say I'm gonna. I always use a three day out, right? Because I know I can do it today or tomorrow, right? So I'll send you those documents by Friday, let's say. And then the next day, John just sent you that email where you were waiting for. All right, I'll need your signature, or this is ready, or the transfer. I did a follow up. So you just want to be faster than what you told them. So just tell them it's going to be a bit later. And same thing with life insurance, a proposal, right? Manage expectation. We understand sometimes we do a life insurance. By the time we send them, sometimes it takes time. If they need to go through, Primark has to send something to the doctor. Doctors are not always on top of it, to respond quickly. It may take a while, right? It may take a month or two sometimes. It drags. So tell them sometimes it takes about 2 months to set up. And after like 3 weeks, it's done. They're going to be surprised and excited. Okay. So surprise them with speed and efficiency. How to do that? Track deadline meticulously. Use task in CRM, right? Task is going to be your best friend from now on. Task and notes. And you want to make people feel special. Okay. Small gesture, a big impact. So I know I did a training about sending handwritten thank you notes after a meeting, a sell, a contact. If you want to go back and try to look at that meeting, it was great. I just want to give a shout out. When I did that training, someone I think contacted me through the chat, and I responded. And guess what? That person's super nice. Maria Vieira Williams from Texas. Well, guess what? She sent me, I don't know if you can see it, a handwritten thank you note from the US. All right. So I kind of just got it because Canada Post was on strike for a month. So I received it about a month and a half later. But that was so nice of her. She didn't have to do that. But I gave her a little bit of coaching, and she used exactly what I told. And I was like, oh my, I felt special. That made my day. So she did that. So you wanna use that small gesture, big impact. Celebrate birthdays, milestone, anniversary. I try to send. I'm not perfect with that. I try to send texts to my top tier. I know they're getting that birthday card, right? I know that, but that little personal text. Here's the thing with when I send a text, that extra step. Sometimes they contact me, they say, oh, thank you very much. By the way, I was thinking we should meet about that. It just gives a hook, an opportunity. You're just sending your line in the water, right? There's a hook right there. Sometimes they tell you, because since you already created, they've been thinking about you. And by the way, if you think about your client, they'll be thinking about you, right? That's how it happens. So personalized communication to show genuine care, and by taking good notes, you will have opportunity to touch base in a meaningful way. That's what I was talking a bit earlier. If some clients, things are happening in their life, not always bad, sometimes it's great. If they're just bought a new house, had a new kid, married, whatever, right? Just have a continuous talk about what's happening in their lives. That's why you need the notes. You cannot remember all that unless you only have 10 clients. That was me at the beginning. I thought my brain was great. No, I just didn't have a lot. Once you have a lot, yep, harder to remember. And just set reminders again in task. Okay, take amazing notes for seamless follow-ups. Here's why this matters. If you have clear and thorough notes, that ensures continuity in service, even if someone else needs to take over the client relationship. Guys, you need to think that probably you won't be servicing your clients forever. You could have admin help you do 80% of all those follow-up, check campaigns and product services and everything. You and them need to have clear notes. If you're sick for a month, you're in hospital, if someone needs to take over, they need to know where you're at. It cannot be in your brain. This needs to be on the CRM in notes. I'm going to give you a template to what put in the notes right after this, okay? So well-structured note helps you stay organized, professional, and proactive. So you're not forgetting anything. And here's the best practice to take note. Take note during or immediately after the meeting. I actually use my pad. Oh, you can't see my pad, but I have a pad with, my pen. I just jot down like keywords during the meeting. Right? I cannot type when I can't do two things at the same time. I'm not like that. So I just jot down, and once I'm done, I go and create my note. I'll show you in a second, right? I use a standardized templates to ensure consistency. I just created of, okay, what's important? What do I need to put in my notes? Because sometimes we just don't know. Create a note. Well, I met with the client and did a life insurance. Yeah, well, if you look at your transaction history, that says the same thing, right? Well, There's no value there. You want to put the rest. What's important? Here's what I use. I use a dictation app, or actually what I use Microsoft Word 365. I use the dictation button. It's open, so I just dictate my note. I just say it, and it writes it for me. And then I copy and paste it. It takes 2 minutes. I never had, and I put everything I have in mind, everything that happened. That's why it's so easy for me to also put what the client feels, what was important to them. Okay. So here's a note template. Okay. You can tweak it, you can use your own, but that's just points that you want to ask yourself a question and answer it while taking your notes. So what, like number one, today's discussion, what, just a summary of the topic you discussed, obviously, right? For most people, that's their notes. But there's other stuff you need to put, right? We need to improve. We need to get better. And trust me, why are you going to be doing this is you want to create a better relationship and show more value, be more valuable to your clients. You're going to grow your client base and asset under management. It's going to be worth it. Okay. So option proposed. So list all the solution and option discussed during the meeting, right? I know in Canada for investment, we have to propose them different options and let them choose in sort of way, right? So I need to kind of put in my notes what's the options I propose to them. Why and then you can make your recommendation though. Okay. Here's what I propose. Here's what I recommend, right? So clearly explain why you recommend or your recommendation aligns with their goals. And I love listing the benefits and also the negatives. Okay. I with the client, I do with the client, but I like to put in my notes. And sometimes the negative, well, it could be, yeah, well, if we transfer from the bank, you'll have a fee to transfer, blah, 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 right? So I like to put in my note. If something happens, come back, whatever, a complaint, whatever, you got notes. You're got a good note. Question or your concern. Obviously, your client's gonna have some question, some hesitation, right? If they ask you a question about, or they're concerned about the fees, right? Well, it's an opportunity to you to talk about the fees, but you want to put in your notes, a client ask you about that fees. That was an area of concern. I answered da 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 da. All right. It's great because if you review, a follow up with that client in the future, it's great because you already covered it. You have in your notes, so you can come back. Oh, remember last time? Sometimes they have the same concern that comes back, right? That's their own personal, fears or whatever. It may come back a few times to say, remember last time we talked about that? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I just want to clear it up again. Okay. Presentation or marketing material you use. Okay, so record any material during the meeting for future reference. Like if you show the specific fun fact, if you talk about investment, I actually uploaded that fun fact in my notes. It's there. I know, and it's a great tool to have whenever you need to review the client because you know exactly what you did. Client homework. Well, we sometimes give your client a bit of homework, right? You need to find your policy. You need to find gather your investment statements from the bank or whatever. If you don't put any notes or in a task to kind of remember to get back with the client with that, you may forget. So a list of action of what's their little homework to that they need to provide, and what's your next step? That's important, right? Clearly outline the immediate next step, including deadlines. So I always have, like, it's an ongoing relationship. You should have a task or a follow-up on all your client. If not, you're not in a continuous relationship, right? That boat's going to sail away. You're going to lose that person eventually if you don't pay any attention. You should have on all your clients a follow-up or a task ongoing in the future. So in conclusion, your client seeks more than just financial solution. They want to trust you. They want to know that you trust, that you care and be proactive with your service, right? So by focusing on people and asset, leveraging the power of compounding effect, you exceed expectation. You position yourself as a true partner in the financial journey. Tools like CRM helps you to stay organized, streamline service, and maintain meaningful connection. So it's a tool, right? It's not a drag, it's a tool. And just please remember, always under promise and over deliver to build loyalty. And the balance between speed and quality create trust and satisfaction. And that what leads to like small, thoughtful gesture make client feel valued and appreciated. And guess what? Repeat business and referrals. That's the end goal of that. Repeat business and referrals. So final thought, the success of your business is not measured just in assets under your management or people under your management, but the relationships you nurture. Consistently delivering value, care deeply, and strive to exceed expectation, and your clients will reward you with trust, loyalty, and referrals. There you go. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much. Jack?
Man, Max, that was like a clinic. So I think everybody needs to write down today's date. Okay, 28 January 2025. Probably by Friday, this will be up available for you to go back on so you can go through. Max, you're going to put this on Telegram because probably
Absolutely.
the number one question is, this is unbelievable. Where can I get the slides? Okay, it'll go up in Telegram. All right, so thank you, Max. That was absolutely unbelievable. So, John Moats works for our company, home office. He's a vice president. He's in charge of CRM product management. His job is discovery, planning, and development, which sounds like a mouthful to me. I got a chance to spend almost 2 hours with John yesterday on a Zoom call and got to know him. And I got to tell you, boys and girls, our company is in great hands. This guy not only does he have a beautiful family, but this guy is smart as a whip. And he was telling me stuff. I'm sitting there going, I don't even know how that stuff works, man. I mean, John, I went into my office and I flipped on the switch and the light came on. I don't know how that happened, bro, but I don't know how you make this stuff work, but he does. And he's totally focused on making this better for everyone in the company. So with that said, here to do a demo of some of the releases and things of that nature. So put your hands together for the great John Moats. It's all yours, buddy. You're a co-host, so you
All
can.
right. Well, I appreciate that. I am not a VP. I'm an AVP. So don't give me too much credit. Yeah, so I joined the CRM team back in November. I have been here for working on 6 years. I've been on a bunch of different products here at Primerica. So I started on EasyKey. So I built out the EasyKey application with a great team. And then we got to the point where that was kind of featured out. So we shifted off. And then I went into some communication-based programs, implementing SMS, text, all of the recruit-based notifications. And then from there, I took over the new rep experience team. So we had the actual new rep experience on the app. We had Recruit Tracker, Recruit Manager, and IBA. So I'm happy to be over here at CRM. CRM is a very complex program. It is at every institution. I mean, you're trying to bring in an absolute massive amount of information and connectivity. So it's a great challenge. As Jack said, I'm certainly fully committed to doing my best to try to help kind of improve CRM. Of course, right now I would tell you that my focus is on a lot of small things, making sure that we have a really, really good baseline of the tools that y'all use. For example, I think there was a great overview of tasks. I mean, we talked about tasks for a really, really long time, and it is a great feature, and there is a lot of benefit to it. And I just want to make sure that it works exactly as you expect all the time. So that's where a lot of my focus has been. And as we kind of build that foundation so that it's in a good position, then I would love to layer on a lot of, extra fun bells and whistles on top of it. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what everybody wants to cover. What I'll do is I'll go over what we've recently released, because I'm not sure a lot of communication has been out about that. And if you have questions or if there's anything that you need additional clarity on, you just let me know. Okay. So I'm gonna go over here to CRM. Now this is in prod. One thing that we released, and this was just a couple days ago, and this was kind of interesting. It was in a beta, and we kind of removed the beta. I'm not sure many people know about it, but on the homepage, I know there was a lot of conversation about the homepage. We offer this customized layout feature now. So, for example, yeah, we are taking follow-ups away, and I think Maxim did a wonderful job of kind of explaining why we would do that. I know that might be confusing, but I want to consolidate as much of the feature set as we possibly can. So that way you're not having to create a thought process on what I'm doing. By and large, a task and a follow-up cover the same exact type of functionality. So we merge them together so that you still have availability to kind of tag things the same way, but that functionality isn't split between two different areas, such as task and follow-up. So it's kind of consolidated into one. So while we are going to remove some of these things here, I'll just use this as an example. If you're not one to use any of these things, you can simply pull it down, get it out of your way. You can save that layout, and then that's kind of down at the bottom. If you really, really love tasks, which again, I think there was a lot of conversation about that, you can move this up and you can save that layout. And that way, when you come to the home page, you have exactly the order that you want over there on the right side based on the priorities to you. So I think that's something small, but something that can help make the homepage yours in the way that you need it. So excited about that. I'm going to jump over here to tasks. Again, lots of great conversation about tasks. And there's a couple things here that we recently released that I think are going to be very, very, very helpful. So as part of shifting follow-ups over to tasks, I'm aware that there are some conditions in which some of you probably have a massive amount of overdue tasks, right? They were follow-ups, they weren't closed out in the legacy system, and now they exist as tasks, as open, but in this overdue state. We, as part of a Phil working group call, there was a great conversation about the need to take a bunch of tasks and edit them together. You're going to change them all at the same time. Let's say that Jan, I got to talk to Jan the other day. Jan's great. So let's say that Jan, as an office manager, that office manager is leaving for a week. She's going on vacation, he or she. And you have another office manager, and you want to assign all those tasks over to this new office manager. Prior to this release, you had to open each task, you had to use the drop down, you had to switch. So what we've released here is the ability, and you can see this actions menu now at the top, is you can go select, as many of these tasks as you want. And you have the option over here on the right, this actions panel, and you can edit that assignee. So you can change if that condition exists for you or that scenario someday, you can go ahead and change all of those over to a different office manager or a different person. Additionally, as you can see here, if you want to change all of these due dates, maybe it's MLK Day and you're not going to work on Monday. Based on your current pattern, it lands on Monday. On Friday, you're like, well, I don't want to do that, and I don't want them to be overdue when I come into work on Tuesday. Well, you can go in here and you can change everything. You can change all of those tasks out as far as you need to do. So that gives you the ability to kind of group. We call it bulk edit. Kind of move these out. And to go back to this kind of overdue state. I know some of you are really big on having 0 overdues. And I think that's wonderful. And I think when we did the switch from follow-ups to tasks, like I said, there was a condition that maybe some of you had a lot of overdues that you didn't expect. And it's kind of, for lack of a better word, it's kind of a data oddity. But you can go ahead and click overdue. And if you want to take all 430 of these and check them all and complete them all, now you have that ability to do that, or whatever number that you want to do. So you basically have 3 options for bulk edit. If you're basically going to edit more than one at a time, you can select each task individually. You can use this box here, which selects the entire page. And I want to call that out. This is the page, right? We call this pagination. So you're just selecting all of the first page. Or up here, you have the ability to select them all. And that's going to be, and you'll always see it right here, that's going to be all pages or all things that meet whatever condition you've chosen. And then, like I said, you can go through and you can edit, you can change the due date for all of them, you can change the assignee for all of them, or you can complete them all. The other thing is we call this inline edit. So instead of having to open the task and edit it and hit save and do all those things, now you have that ability on this task list to go in and edit these fields, specifically the assignment